The 2023 NFL playoffs are here. It's time to predict every matchup, every round, leading to Super Bowl 57. Before I do, make sure that you do spike the like button, and let me know in the comment section below your NFC champ, your AFC champ, your predictions for the 2023 NFL playoffs, and of course, who will win Super Bowl 57. Now, let's have some fun. Let's begin in the NFC with the wild card round. The Seattle Seahawks travel to the San Francisco 49ers to take on Nick Bosa and the 49er defense that has stifled Geno Smith in two matchups previously. I believe the Niners are just too much for the Seattle Seahawks in this matchup. The Bosa-led defense can get a pass rush on Geno Smith. Charvarius Ward is a big physical corner who can match up with DK Metcalf. And they're also incredible versus the run, so Kenneth Walker isn't going to have anywhere to go. The Niners will also be able to run the football at will without Jordan Brooks at linebacker for the Seahawks. And George Kittle just goes off versus these Seahawks. So give me the Niners to walk all over Seattle at home. They're going to advance. The New York G-Men take on the Minnesota Vikings. The 6-3 matchup in a rematch that we saw not that long ago. Minnesota took that game 27-24. I believe the Giants will get their revenge in the playoffs. I am concerned about the Minnesota Vikings offensive line. They will be missing their starting center, their starting right tackle. They will have a new look offensive line entering the playoffs. That is never good news, especially versus a coordinator like Wink Martindale, who throws confusing blitzes and schemes at a quarterback and an offensive line. On top of that, Kayvon Thibodeau has been breaking out and having an awesome second half of this season. Dexter Lawrence has been incredible. Leonard Williams. I think the Giants get pressure and force mistakes from Kirk Cousins. The G-Men offensively will also be able to move the football on the ground, through the air. Daniel Jones has a big game with his legs. I think the Giants win this one and shock Minnesota. The 4-5 matchup in the NFC is America's team traveling to Tom Brady's house in Tampa Bay. It's funny how the NFL has this way of coming full circle. I was at the Week 1 game of the Bucs and the Cowboys. And let me tell you, that game wasn't as close as the scoreboard indicated. The Bucs match up extremely well versus Dallas. They can stop the run. They can force the Cowboys to become one-dimensional. They can create pressure, especially up the middle versus Dak Prescott with Akeem Hicks and Vita Vea. And this offensive line, this offense in general, Dak does not look in sync as of late. He's turning the ball over. That is bad news, especially when you go on the road in the playoffs. This Bucs team knows how to elevate their level in the playoffs. We've seen it before. The Cowboys do not. Tom Brady will come to play. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin both have big games versus a susceptible secondary that I think a lot of people are overrating. I believe the Bucs will send Cowboys fans home in the first round once again this year. Moving to the divisional round of the NFC playoffs, the first matchup is the Philadelphia Eagles, fresh off a bye, as the number 1 seed taking on the 6th seed New York Giants in a NFC East divisional matchup. The G-Men, I think their time is up. Here's the thing. The Philadelphia Eagles, I believe, can throw the ball down the field versus the New York Giants. Don't get me wrong. I feel the Giants' defensive line can do a good job at stopping the Eagles' run game. But the problem is that Jalen Hurts will be able to make plays with his legs, scramble around, extend plays, and throw the ball versus matchups on the perimeter. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown are going to be tough to cover for this Giants secondary. I think a lot of points come from the passing game with Jalen Hurts. On the other side of the football, I just believe if the Giants fall behind early, their offensive line will be exposed by the Eagles' pass rush. And that is where I could see Daniel Jones and company making mistakes, turning the ball over, and this one becoming a rout. So I've got the Eagles running away with their first NFC playoff game. The second divisional matchup is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the San Francisco 49ers in a rematch from a game we saw earlier this year. It was actually Brock Purdy's debut, where he was phenomenal. He was out of this world. And quite frankly, you cannot be better than he was in the first game. So that's lucky if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because you can't be that great twice in one season. And I don't believe he would be. I believe that the Bucs defense would play a lot better in the second matchup. They'd have the film to study. They'd be able to find ways to slow down Shanahan's rushing attack and force Brock Purdy to beat them. But I just feel that this coaching advantage for San Francisco, really on both sides of the football, is too great. I believe that Shanahan can confuse Devin Whites of the world, creating misdirection and allowing his players to get open down the field. And I believe Brock Purdy will make the Bucs pay. I also believe that, yes, Brady could step up and could feast versus a secondary that I don't know is that great in San Francisco. But the Niners are a fast defense that can really take away the short passing game, and they also will be able to create enough pressure to force Brady into enough tough throws and tough situations. So I like the 49ers at home to win this game, even though it might be tougher than people expect versus TB12. My NFC Championship prediction is between the two most talented rosters in the NFL from top to bottom, in my opinion. The Philadelphia Eagles host the San Francisco 49ers. And this is a question of two things: styles make fights and coaching. I believe that the 49ers match up extremely well with how the Eagles want to play. And I believe that the Niners have a significant coaching advantage, especially when it comes to defensive coordinator versus defensive coordinator. Both teams have great offenses, but DeMeco Ryans is the reason the Eagles will lose this game and the Niners will win this game. I believe that he'll have a plan with the athletes and the speed and the front seven that the Niners offer to shut down Jalen Hurts running horizontally. And I believe the Niners pass rush and secondary will do enough. Tarvarius Ward on A.J. Brown, I believe they'll do enough to shut down the passing game and make the Eagles struggle offensively. I think it then comes to the other side of the ball. And I really struggle to see the Eagles slowing down the Niners consistently. I just don't think that their zone coverage-based coverage defense is going to really work versus Kyle Shanahan. I think he has too many ways of going to the lab and picking apart this zone coverage all over the place. And the Niners have too many matchups to realistically expect to shut down all these players. On top of that, the Eagles have also struggled with the run game throughout the season, and I believe McCaffrey could have a big day. So the Niners will be able to stay balanced. I don't believe that's the case for the Eagles versus this awesome front seven of the Niners. So San Francisco is the matchup the Eagles just can't beat, in my opinion. I got the Niners advancing to the Super Bowl. Now for the AFC. Beginning in the wild card round, we have the 7 seed Miami Dolphins versus the number 2 Buffalo Bills. The Bills Mafia will be absolutely rowdy for this matchup, an AFC East rivalry game. I just don't see the Miami Dolphins going to Buffalo in the cold at this time of year with a rookie head coach, with a backup or a third string quarterback, and beating Josh Allen and this Bills team that is Super Bowl or bust. This Bills team is too explosive offensively. The Dolphins defensively just can't match up. They love to play man. It's not going to work. They love to blitz. That's not what you do versus Josh Allen. On the other side of the football, I just don't think Teddy Bridgewater or Skylar Thompson are going to have enough here. As good as Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are, maybe they make a few plays. They've been able to run the ball on Buffalo, and I could see Buffalo giving up some points early, but as soon as they adjust to whatever McDaniel has in store, I think they'll be able to run away with this one. So Buffalo easily moves on to the next round. The 3 versus 6 matchup in the AFC is another divisional matchup and a division rivalry. The Cincinnati Bengals host the Baltimore Ravens. This is another similar story. The Bengals are next level. They're way better than the Ravens. The Ravens without Lamar Jackson are just nothing. They're a shell of themselves. They have no offense to speak of. And when you have no offense to speak of, you can't contend or defeat or even pretend to compete with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. As good as the Ravens defense has been over the back half of the year, they just don't have the ammunition offensively to stay with Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati grinds a victory out and moves to the divisional round. The final AFC Wild Card matchup is the LA Chargers headed to Jacksonville to take on Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. This is an extremely compelling matchup between two awesome young quarterbacks that we've never seen in the playoffs before. And I believe this could be a shootout. Herbert, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, the weapons he has, I believe will have a big day versus this Jacksonville secondary that I don't think is very good. I like the front seven of Jacksonville, but I have my questions about how they can hold up versus a superior top upper echelon elite quarterback, the robot Justin Herbert. I think he'll pick them apart and move the ball all day through the air. The other side of the football is really the question. Can Trevor Lawrence and this Jags offense consistently move the ball versus the Chargers? And I think they can run it on the Chargers. I think they can possess the ball. If they can keep Herbert on the sidelines, they have a chance to win this game. But ultimately, I just believe that the Chargers defense, the way they've been playing, especially in pass defense, they've got good matchups in their secondary versus the Jags receivers. And I believe they'll do enough to slow down Travis Etienne. They'll do enough. They'll make enough big plays with their pass rush to win this game. And I think the Chargers go to Jacksonville, get revenge for earlier this year, and win this game to advance to Arrowhead. Now to the AFC Divisional round. Speaking of Arrowhead, we have the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the LA Chargers for the third time this year. The Chargers and the Chiefs, Herbert and Mahomes. These games are always fantastic. They're always one-score games. This time, the Chargers might be a bit healthier. They do get a big boost if Joey Bosa is healthy for this matchup. That pass rush, this defense, it's been great as of late. Can they slow down the best offense in the league? Now, the Chiefs, maybe they come out slow off the bye. We see teams come off slow and kind of not looking the same. If that happens, the Chargers can jump out in front and really create some danger for this Chiefs team. The Chiefs do typically win these games. The Chiefs do typically go to the AFC Championship. The Chargers are not going to be an easy game because they can throw the ball on Kansas City. They've got great receivers who can win one-on-one versus man coverage. They can win down the field vertically. And they can also sprinkle in Austin Eckler here and there. They've also got a defense that can rush for and can cover. And the Chiefs do struggle with those aspects. But I just trust Andy Reid and Mahomes too much in the clutch and Travis Kelce in the clutch. As much as I would like to say the Chargers win, and I do believe the Chargers can win this game, I just think the Chiefs will be able to make the plays at the end of the game. Chris Jones will make a big play. Mahomes, Kelce, one of these receivers will come through. And I do think that the Chiefs' added element of their offensive line with the run game will make some plays and be able to control the game through their running game. So I think the Chiefs win and advance to the AFC Championship. The second AFC Divisional matchup is arguably the AFC Championship. I think these are the two best teams entering the playoffs, the Bills and the Bengals. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, we didn't get to see this one on Monday night. I believe that this is going to be a phenomenal game, and either team could win this game, and either team could win the Super Bowl for that matter. I believe this will be a back and forth contest between two epic quarterbacks. Stephon Diggs should have a huge day versus the secondary of the Bengals that can't really cover him. I don't see a number one corner. That could really hurt them in this game. But Big Lou is a great adjuster and a great coach on the defensive side of the football for the Bengals. I also believe an X factor in this game is the Bengals' ability to win short yardage. I think they can do a better job of running the ball with Joe Mixon and stopping the run because of DJ Reader in the middle. Huge X factor. The Bengals also have more options at wide receiver with Higgins, Chase, Boyd, and more matchups that they can really feast. And the Bills can't really take away one guy or they'll get beat by another. That's the problem. Joe Burrow, I do think, has been protecting the ball and playing better overall than Josh Allen, as much as I am a Josh Allen guy. And I do feel the Bills' defense is a bit overrated. I also think Sean McDermott tends to kind of have terrible moments in the playoffs and with clock management. So really, I'm leaning towards the Bengals here. I could see the Bills winning. I could see them coming out on top. But I like the Bengals. They just know how to win. I think they're clutch. And I'm going to lean with the Bengals winning this game on the road, even in Buffalo. Both teams are used to the cold. Cincinnati advances to Arrowhead. My AFC Championship is a rematch of last year's AFC Championship. The Chiefs host the Bengals once again. And I love these type of rematches. I love when we get a rematch 2 years in a row in the playoffs. It's always epic. It always makes for great television. It always makes for great storylines. I believe the Cincinnati Bengals are the better team. I believe they're the better all-around team. I love how they match up with Kansas City. I love how they're able to beat the man coverage that the Chiefs want to play because of their great receivers. I love how Joe Burrow is so accurate and puts the ball on the money. I love how they game plan for Mahomes and can make a couple stops every game because of it. And I love how their D-line matches up with the Chiefs' offensive line, which is an X factor. I believe as long as the Bengals can control the ball through their passing game, protect Joe Burrow, they should be able to travel to Arrowhead and win this game. Not counting out the Chiefs here, of course, but I just think the Bengals have the Chiefs number. So I'm going to take Cincinnati to go to the Super Bowl again for the second year in a row. I know, shocker. That means that my Super Bowl 57 prediction is the San Francisco 49ers versus the Cincinnati Bengals in a 80s classic. We're going to have this game for the third time in NFL history. And as every other time, the San Francisco 49ers will win the game. I believe that these playoffs are Kyle Shanahan's moment to take the crown. As a Kyle Shanahan stan, I've got to go with him here. I believe that the 49ers are the best team in football. I believe they have the best coaching staff in football. I believe they have the best defense in football. And I believe they have a great group of playmakers. And Brock Purdy seems to have the it factor. And yes, I know I'm going with Brock Purdy to win the Super Bowl. But this is the best team in the NFL, and that's why I'm picking them. I believe in this matchup, the Niners, Brock Purdy will have to throw the ball. So that being said, it's going to be up to George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, who could have a massive game here. I just think those are too many X factors for the Bengals to handle. On the other side, I do think Nick Bosa has a massive game versus this offensive line of the Bengals. And everyone will be talking about, can the Niners cover the Bengals? Can the Niners cover the Bengals? But it's going to come down to the pass rush of San Francisco. It's going to come down to the coaching. Kyle Shanahan owns Sean McVay. Zach Taylor is a Sean McVay guy. The Niners win the Super Bowl, and because the story is just too good to pass up, Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl 57 MVP. The 49ers are my Super Bowl champs. In my prediction, let me know who you have winning the Super Bowl and going to the Super Bowl in your prediction. Thanks so much for watching. After all, this is all for fun, and I wish your team in the playoffs the best of luck. It's Mitch of the BLV. Consider subscribing for more NFL videos just like this. Gronk spike the like button. Comment your opinion. Peace!